Hello, welcome to the One I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, wearing clothes. I'm not on camera, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, I I was looking at my feed, okay, and there were lots of videos on YouTube and posts on X about NewJeans, of course, because NewJeans has new videos out where they're you know on their YouTube promoting the summer of New Jeans, and I'm not playing that. Obviously, I'm playing a compilation of their TikToks right now. But the reason why is because they look better in these crappy TikToks than uh than their new photos. But anyway, there were a lot of videos about New Jeans is being demanded by the media to apologize before they make a comeback. And so it was just video after video where the title is people are demanding New Jeans apologize, or the media is demanding. And so I was trying to find, people saying New Jeans has to apologize. And on social media anyway, just on comments on pictures, or, because New Jeans is so popular. So if you go on X, you can type in New Jeans, or you'll see a bunch of pictures anyway. But I didn't see anyone demanding them to apologize. It was just more about, how come they can't come back as five? Why is only Danielle the one being sued? Is Minji really coming back? It was nothing about they have to say sorry. Okay, so then I went to Koreaboo, right? Yeah, I went to Koreaboo, and then they had an article, "New Jeans Under Fire." Don't worry, I'm not gonna read the whole thing because it's lame when people do that. Just go look at the article. Anyway, "New Jeans Under Fire" was Korean media demands an apology. So then I was like, okay, there must be 1,000 articles from Korean news sources that are demanding New Jeans make an apology. And so just by reading Koreaboo, I trust them. I've been reading Koreaboo for years. The only thing it says is right here on July 26th, Sports Soul reporter Lee Sung Rock published an opinion piece claiming the most important thing missing from New Jeans' return was not former Adore CEO Mi Hee Jin, but a sincere apology to the public and those affected by the group's actions during the ongoing contract dispute. That is the only news article or media based article that has said New Jeans should apologize. But there's, and I'm going to say dozens, because I saw dozens. I didn't see hundreds because, I'm not going to look on YouTube all day. But I saw dozens of videos saying New Jeans under fire, or New Jeans is being demanded by the media. It was just like like similar to this. It's like someone took this title but changed it up a little. I saw this like about 20 something times in YouTube vids. New Jeans under fire as the media demands them apologize. So it's people just making videos and just taking this. Say, there's people who probably just read this first line on Koreaboo and then went and made a video, because Koreaboo is a major news site, and so you make money for engagement. So they just copied Koreaboo's title and then just ran with it. But the media is not demanding an apology from New Jeans. It's just this one article. I went to the website. I translated to English. It's just this one article. New Jeans return missing the most important thing. And it's just the apology. You can go read it. It's on sportssoul.com, and you have to translate it, and it came out on July 26th. So you just go to the entertainment section and then like the pop music section of the entertainment section, and it's this one article. That's it. So there's not a demand for New Jeans to make an apology. So if you're on social media and you're seeing, well, if you're on YouTube and you're seeing that, I'm just saying it's not true. Just do a little research. That's all I'm saying. Like the real news article is New Jeans looks horrible now. I mean, like look how they're dressed now. That's not good. Like the new like this is them dressed now. They just don't. The one thing I can say about Mihi Jin is that she dressed the girl sexy. This does not look good. I'm just saying, you know, part of the appeal of New Jeans was, you know, yes, they look good, but they were dressed in a certain way. Like they were dressed like a girlfriend kind of, or like I don't know, like I feel like I'm talking to people who've never had a girlfriend before. So okay, they we can we can take it to let's like okay, I'm sure a lot of you remember high school. They dress like the hot chick in high school, okay? Or they or if you're older, they, dress like the hot chick in your college class or whatever. They dress like just the hot chick at the mall. They they dress like good-looking girls that know they're good-looking. This I don't know what this is. This this looks like they are dressed like a okay, so this is them before. There's just a big difference. There's just a big contrast the way they're dressed here and the way they're dressed here. Like this looks like a 40-year-old soccer mom dressed them, and it's like we're gonna go to Olive Garden and we're gonna go with your Aunt Gina. Let me pick the clothes you're gonna wear. This looks horrible compared to what because like they're dressed like white rich chicks from the Hamptons, and they don't have any fashion sense, but they think they have fashion sense, so they bought the most expensive thing on the rack. Like, let's see if we can get pictures, a compare and contrast pictures. Now, I I still maintain, high end still looks really hot. Like, I'm not saying they lost their physical looks. Heron still looks good. Minji, I was never a fan of Minji. But I did see before and after photos. And so before she got the nose job and seeing her now, I actually can see the beauty. And like, I've always liked Hanny. She's got the best body. But like, Heron's like the best looking one for sure. But I've been saying that since I've been covering New Jeans years ago. But anyway, I just want to see New Jeans like debut pics. They just dress a certain way. Just open in a new tab. I hope it's big. It's not big. I know, I know, I know, I know. I know what to do. I know what to do. Sorry. There you go. Right here. Found it. Right here. Okay. Look at how they're dressed now. You see this? Like, Min Hee Jin did this. There's just a big difference between them dressed here and then them dressed here. And then they're like fun, flirty. Like it just looks like the way they're dressed here, it looks like they want male attention. Okay, even though this is simple, it's just like there's something about the styling. And then, like, you remember these music videos. I have this album, like, and like I have a lot of these pictures on my wall. Like this whole album was good. Like I'm talking about the media content. Like like this is obviously dressed like the hot chick from high school. Everyone remembers that. But it's just a different vibe, and like this, like these are sexy outfits. This is around the cookie era because that was my favorite era. They look great. And it's always great when they wear, and this is on purpose. You wear a super 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 short skirt and then wear biker shorts. That is peak because that automatically makes everyone's eyes go to your ass. So I'm just saying, like, they are purposely dressed for the male gaze. Anytime you have biker shorts that are longer than your short skirt or short shorts, that is on purpose to make people look there. And so that's, I mean, obviously, who is this for? It's for men, okay? You compare what you've seen to this, it's it's they're just like 40-year-olds. I don't know, like, and like Minhee Jin was bad. Like it's her fault all this happened, and you have to take some accountability. These girls didn't have to go along with her, but Minhee Jin did something right. And if you look at the other groups she's worked with, she dresses female K-pop groups in a sexy way, and sex sells, people. Remember, these K-pop groups, and I'm talking about like all of them. They're not people. They're millions of dollars have been invested in each of these K-pop idols. And the reason why so much money is invested in them, because let's say if like you invest $10 million in a K-pop idol, the company is gambling because they think they're going to make $100 million off of this K-pop idol. And if it does get like that much money, the K-pop idol is going to be set for life too. Obviously, I mean, I know the average K-pop idol isn't, but the ones that are in popular groups, so like NewJeans, all of them were already worth like roughly $5 million from just what little they did. But it's probably more though because they had advertisements and commercials. But anyway, that's beside the point. So Minhee Jin like understood that, okay, so you invested millions of dollars into these girls, with like this, like the singing lessons, the dancing lessons, just all the stuff they have to do to become an idol, okay, and then like the hair and makeup, all that jazz, okay. So you have to make it so people are gonna buy their music, buy their merch. So how do you do that? You make them as visually appealing as possible. Okay, these girls could have put out the same music, but if they were like five fat chicks, no one would have cared. It's just how it is. The first New Jeans video, the first thing you saw was Hyen like uh wearing like a well, over here in America, like she was dressed like a Mexican chick that you would see on the block, like the backless shirt, basically like the clothes that the hot chick would wear in high school. But anyway, and so that alone is gonna be worth a lot of album sales, because who buys K-pop albums? Like, it is people who like the music, but there is a big section of K-pop where it's just men and women that are attracted to the idol. Why do you think they try to make the idols as good looking as possible? I mean, like NCT is a good group. I actually like their music, but they have a lot of female fans that like them because they're hot, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with maximizing your sales potential, and you do that with looks. And so New Jeans was doing that. As soon as Min Hee Jin is gone, they're dressed like this. And you're like, but that's not going to affect the album sales. Watch. Like, it doesn't matter that they haven't put out any new music in what, like 2 years or whatever. That doesn't matter. Okay, so like when they put out something new, people are gonna have this picture in their mind: soccer mom high end, soccer mom heroin, soccer like like I'm a lawyer Minji. I work at the library Hani. Okay, no one wants that. People want like even this is like it's not even that good of a picture, but like they look like girls you want to hit on if you saw them at a bar or if you saw them at a party. You would walk up to these girls. Okay, it's like flirty. This no, it's just not working. So I predict that NewJeans' next comeback is going to flop. And when I mean flop, it's because you're going to compare it to all the other albums because well that's all we have to compare it to. And it's not going to do as good. And it's mostly because you're going to lose or you've lost a lot of the male fans who just liked them because of the way they looked. And part of the way they dressed was a big part of the way they looked because they had a certain style. Like look how the like these are great outfits. Even though they're simple, they're they're flirty, they're great. They once again are dressed like a girl. They are all dressed like women who want male attention. And so what girls that dress like this, you do walk up to. They're very inviting. This isn't. This just isn't working. And I'm one of the biggest fans of the way NewJeans looks. I've been talking about well, I don't make as many K-pop videos, but every time we have talked about NewJeans, I have never said anything bad about the way they look. Like looks wise, they have nailed it because that's just as important because most K-pop groups are only as popular as their visual. So you had a group that had 5 visuals. I mean, that's part of the reason why they were so popular. They had 5 visuals. Now they have 4 visuals. But anyway, back to the topic. I only saw one article, okay? So there is not a demand for Eugene to apologize. And here's the thing. The reason why New Jeans apologizing is bad actually. First off, the company is in charge of the apology. So, uh, like every time we've had these crazy apologies, it's the label that tells the idol to apologize. And if you've noticed, there have been some idols that have had controversies and they did not apologize and they never even acknowledged what happened. You know why? Because the company told them not to. We have seen forced apologies. I mean, well, most of the apologies are forced because the company is telling them what to do. But we've seen ones where like the idol didn't want to apologize and just apologized because the company told them, and it was like this weird statement. The perfect example was a Chewie from Twice when she had to apologize for holding up a because she's from Taiwan, and she held up a flag of her home country, and then it pissed off all the Chinese fans because China doesn't recognize uh, Taiwan, so she was forced to read an apology, and it came off really awkward, and you could tell she didn't want to read it, but the company's in charge, not her. So anyway, basically, it wasn't a real apology, and so if New Jeans does apologize, everyone because this happens every time, everyone's gonna go, oh, but that wasn't a real apology. She didn't mean it. She was forced to do it because everyone was demanding it. And this always happens. Okay. Then New Jeans is gonna have to do a second apology and it'll be like a handwritten letter or something like that because no one believed the first apology. So the second apology is going to be either a handwritten letter or just it's going to be different than the first apology. but it's going to be even more personal. So either they will do a video and read the apology, or it'll be a handwritten apology. It'll be something. Okay. Then people will complain, well, you're only doing this apology because you were forced to do a backup apology. So it never ends. Okay. And so then they'll do the third apology. Okay. And then the third apology is when people are going to be like, why are we bullying these girls into giving an apology? And then there'll still be people going, well, they never meant any of these apologies, so why are they apologizing? So and then people would be like, well, if they didn't mean it the first three times, like, why even apologize in the first place? And then they might, or one member will just give another apology, and then people are going to be like, okay, this is making Koreans look bad because we're forcing them to apologize. And then it'll make them get fans going, listen, if you don't like them, just don't listen to them. Just stop making them apologize. How many more times do they have to apologize? So, and this happens with every scandal, like every apology. It's like the first one, no one believes it. It's not good enough. The second one, they're only doing it because no one believed them the first time. The third apology is forced because, you know, people didn't believe the first. It's like it's always the same. No one believes the first apology because it's forced. No one believes the second apology because you're only doing it because no one believed the first apology. The third apology, you're only doing it because the first two were fake. And then if you get to a fourth one, people are mad at you because now you're embarrassing Korea. It's happened every time. So if NewJeans was smart, just don't apologize. I'm sorry, if Hybe / Adore was smart, they wouldn't have NewJeans apologize, because NewJeans under fire from Korean media was just one news article. But there's people making, because of the algorithm, people are just because this is what YouTube is. They find a major news outlet that does an article, or just a major, like you go to Google, you type up the top 5 news stories, and people will just copy those 5 news stories and make videos about them because they're trying to get engagement. And so people saw this on Korea Boo and was like, oh, okay, I'm going to make a video. And there were just a lot of videos of people just talking about stuff they didn't know what they were talking about because they read one line and they're going, yeah, NewJeans has to apologize. It's one guy said they need to apologize on Korea, on Sports Korea. So that's not the media. It's one dude. Anyway, my advice to NewJeans. Sorry, my advice to Hybe, because Hybe is in charge, not NewJeans. Don't apologize, because your real fans, because the real fans just want to hear the music, and everyone knows NewJeans wanted. I'm just based on their actions, not what they say. NewJeans wanted to leave Adore. Okay, nothing has changed except the contract is held up, so they don't have a choice but to come back. Okay, and do they want to get sued? Because Danielle's being sued for like $20 million for breaking the contract. Okay, and if you really think about it, Hybe or Adore, whatever, treats these girls great. Okay, because Hybe made these girls millionaires. So how bad can it be to work for Hybe? You got generational wealth from being a K-pop idol. So how bad can it be? And so I'm thinking that a lot of the stuff they did or said was just lies to get out of the contract. And that's why they did everything publicly, to get some media play. But, if they apologize, it's going to be fake because they wanted to leave. They have to honor their contract. So it's like, why even force an apology? that says more about you if you need NewJeans to apologize. And then people are saying, but NewJeans hurt Islet, NewJeans hurt Le Seraphim. Well, no one made you, if you're a fan of NewJeans, if you're a bunny, whatever, a rabid bunny, no one forced you to attack Islet and to attack Le Seraphim. You did that on your own. Okay, you're a functioning human being, an adult, and I'm gonna count late teens. Like if you're 15 or older, I think you're intelligent enough to not harass someone online. Okay, if you're 15 years old and someone tells you to jump off a bridge, you can say no, right? Okay, well then like you could say no to not cyberbullying Islet and Le Seraphim. Okay, so there's no excuse. So like those people who were mad over Islet and Le Seraphim getting crap because of NewJeans, why don't you just blame the people who were doing it? Blame Minhee Jin for saying that they were copying. Blame the hundreds of thousands of people online who took it upon themselves. That's who you're really mad at. NewJeans didn't go, "Hey, everyone, attack these groups." So you want NewJeans to apologize for other people? Like the whole thing just doesn't make sense. Also, there's legal stuff going on, and so it's not like they can talk about Mihi Jin and Danielle's mom telling them to break the break the contract. Like I'm sure there's legal stuff involved that they can't say certain things. Like this is more complicated than just they hurt people with their words. It's all we're dealing with major court cases, and major meaning there's lots of money involved. And I'm just under the assumption Adore, Hype, whatever is like, don't talk about this. Shut up about it, because people's hurt feelings mean nothing compared to the millions of dollars we're trying to get. And also, this is a publicly traded company, and it has investors. So like, we don't need you to damage this anymore, because NewJeans has already lost them enough money. So anyway, I only expect a statement from the company, the record label, and I do not expect anything from NewJeans. If anything is said from NewJeans, it will be obviously approved by the company, and it will be obvious it's been approved by the company, because it'll be said in a way that is not, that you can tell it's not from them. And of course that will get crap too. So it's almost like they can't win. But anyway, I've said my piece. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.